Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Boulder Literacy, the series where we break down world-class climbing content so that we don't just watch, we watch and learn. Today takes us to Prague for the 2024 World Cup. Take a look at these athletes who made the finals. This is about as star-studded as it gets. That means we're in for quite a show. For today's problem, they're going to have to contend with this dynamic boulder. The zone is a bit of a gimme. It's just one reach around a move that can be tricky, but it also has the potential to be super easy if athletes use the correct beta. The next move is no slouch though. It involves a dyno into an iron cross. And keep in mind that the left hold is no text, in case you thought it sounded easy. The top is quite straightforward, and interestingly, every single athlete in the field ends up skipping one of the holds, which is rare. Usually the route setters are a bit more deliberate about what they put onto the wall. Who better to get the show on the road than the legend himself, Adam Static the Dyno Anja. And right away he lives up to that name, making the zone look like a V5. However, the crux of this problem seems too large to overcome, and despite his best efforts, Adam doesn't end up landing the Iron Cross. Manuel is up next, and he takes one attempt before he figures out the crux. From there, it's a simple heel hook to get to the top. Let's break down how he did that. This is an easy one to spot. Since his left hand slipped off the no-tex on his first attempt, he simply palms the black volume on his second go. It can sometimes be easy to get tunnel vision and assume that the best beta is the one that the route setters advertise, but don't ever let that stop you from thinking outside the box, because at the end of the day, the only beta that matters is the one that works for you. Next up is Toby Roberts, Olympic champion of course, but also hot off a gold medal in lead a few weeks ago in Koper. Getting a gold here in Boulder would extend his reign of undisputed dominance. He's running into some issues on this crux move though. Interestingly, he isn't getting as high up as the other climbers, and is looking to catch the finish with both arms straight and his body dangling below his hands, while the others opt to bend their right arm and palm up with their left. He eventually gets it to stick though, and then gets to the top easily. Breaking it down, we see only minute differences. If we start from the end, we can see what rips his left hand off the wall is his left leg scorpioning around and twisting the hips too much. Notice on success, we see that he has prevented this wild swing of the left leg by planting his right foot squarely onto the wall. Notice how it lands much higher on the wall this time. When he fails, it's lower on the wall and it just kind of brushes along it, not really doing that much. And how does he keep that right leg high so that it can plant securely? He bends the right knee in midair. Let's watch it from the beginning. Up next is Do Yoon, who's looking beastly. He explodes upward with great style to give us the first flash at the finals. Our penultimate competitor today is Tomoa, and he's the first one we've seen struggle with this starting move. He eventually gets it though, and luckily for him, the dyno into an iron cross is just his style. Keep an eye on how he finishes. Tomoa doesn't care for a heel hook, he just uses some momentum and goes straight for the grab, which of course he does easily. Breaking down his mistakes, we see that he learns to cock back his right arm a bit. This minor change gives him a little more potential energy that he converts into forward momentum. It's small tweaks like this between attempts that make the difference between winning and losing. Also, notice where his right foot lands in the volume. Initially, he's landing super close to the wall, but he learns to land as close to the outside of the volume as possible. If it doesn't make intuitive sense as to why this helps, imagine a more extreme case. What makes this move hard is the blue and black volumes pushing each athlete's chest away from the wall. It's essentially jumping around a corner. If he could land 6 inches farther from the wall, this move would be super easy. If the corner was more extreme, this move would be impossible. By landing as far away from the wall as possible, he's straightening out the curve of the corner. Let's have some fun here and compare Tomoa and Adam, since they're both great climbers but have completely opposite styles, and this problem really highlights the contrast between the two. First, just appreciate their initial impressions on how to start. Tomoa literally just stands on 2 feet and jumps, while Adam, on the other hand, is leaning over, already grabbing the zone hold. And when it comes to the second move, now Tomoa is in his element. Note how his right leg is swung back instead of being scrunched up. His left foot is also lower on the volume. Note how his left hip is slightly above his left knee, while Adam's hip is quite below his knee. Adam is in a position to generate more power initially, but this is more of a wall run than a jump. Tomoa knows this, and he uses momentum to his advantage, while Adam forgoes momentum for a bit more initial power. This leads to the difference we see at the finish of the move. Tomoa's shoulders are directly above his hips, while Adam's torso is bent to the left. Consequently, Tomoa's right shoulder is rotated more. Notice how his elbow goes above his head, and that shoulder position activates the rear delt, which is exactly what you want when you have to hold a Gaston like that. His straight left arm points directly into his right elbow, which is a super powerful position for creating tension. On the left, we see Adam trying to hold a Gaston with his right elbow coming straight out from his right shoulder. If you don't believe how much of a difference this makes, pause the video right now and try it yourself. With a low elbow, a completely different set of muscles get used. Going back one last time, we see how Tomoa's forward momentum carries his right leg and shoulder more into the corner, which is what allows him to get that stronger Gaston position. Last up is Serato, who seems to cruise through this problem. He also has a unique finish to get the flash, keeping both feet on the black volume to slowly reach for the finish. It's hard to decide on an MVP for today, but I'll give Serato the slight edge as he and Do-Hyun sit atop the standings with only Adam significantly behind. Join us tomorrow for the second boulder, where the field starts to separate.